Hello, everybody. How are you? So, what is the impact of vayus and are vayus related to nadis? And what is the relationship between vayu and nadi? There are five very, very essential, powerful, and very impactful vayus which are governing our well-being, which are governing our health, which governs the way in which we think, which governs the way in which we feel and we exist within ourselves. These are called as panchavayus, and they do have a name. You have pranavayu, you have apanavayu, you have samanavayu, you have udanavayu, and you have vyanavayu. Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. These five kinds of vayus have a very, very direct relationship with the nadis. And I am going to be explaining to you this powerful relationship between vayus and the nadis. And also, there is Naga, Kurma, Kirika, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. They are all subsidiary pranas. There are other subsidiary pranavayus which are there. The eternal prana exists in the heart of apanavayu. And I want to talk to you very deeply about it. Why the eternal prana exists in the heart of the apanavayu and is in the excretory organs. It's very, very important as to why the pranavayu has chosen the heart. Why the pranavayu is existing in the heart, and why is it that the apanavayu is existing in the excretory organs. So whenever you have problems in the excretory organs, apanavayu, working with the apanavayu is going to be very, very useful. Especially whenever I had problems related to digestion, problems related to not getting motions on time, it was a direct indication that I had to work on the apanavayu. And to my surprise, when I learned this from my guru, it's been fantastic. I've been able to work on my internal nature in a very, very powerful way. And it's wonderful to see it work in a very, very amazing way. Apanavayu, very important. It just works, and helps you have a very, very fantastic and absolutely vibrant health. Samanavayu is situated in the navel region. As I told you, first, apanavayu is situated in the excretory region. Samanavayu is situated in the navel region. Udanavayu is situated in the throat. So somewhere if you're looking, let's say a lot of people, they have, now let's come to the practical applications of it also. So if you look at the people who are having some knots in the stomach, especially the fear, anxiety and all, you just have to work on the samanavayu. Just by working on the samanavayu, you will feel instantly refreshed. You will not feel fear, you will not feel anxiety in your life if you're working on the samanavayu. If the samanavayu is in its full flow, you will not feel anxious in your life. You will not have to go through the pain of depression. It's only because of the imbalance of samanavayu, because of the impact of the environments and other things, that people go through this kind of absolutely negative way. Any number of people I know, when they've worked on the samanavayu, their ability to feel good has been very, very enhancing, because whatever disturbances you feel in the navel region, there's a brain here also in the intestine. Today endocrinologists are beginning to talk about it. Do you know about it? There's a huge science behind it, and as science develops to its maximum, it will be an absolute sync with what our ancients in this holy land of Bharat has said. Very powerful. So you have this very, very powerful and very amazing presence of Samana Vayu, where when you work on the Samana Vayu, so many fantastic things can happen to you. And Samana Vayu is present at the navel region. Udana Vayu, as I told you, is present in your throat region. So whenever you want to work on your communication, on your expressions, on your ability to have a very, very powerful presence in terms of your communication, your Udana. For example, whose Udana Vayu is in its perfect flow, is functioning very, very well, they are powerful communicators. All the powerful communicators in the world have worked consciously or unconsciously on their Udana Vayu. And then you have Vyana, which is there in the whole body. So like this, you have another 10 Vayus which are very, very prominent. And it's very, very important that you know what I was trying to tell you. I'll also be telling you in this particular video about where is Nagavayu present, what is its implication. Well, Nagavayu is for vomiting. Suppose you eaten something and there have been any number of incidences like this. When you have eaten something and it has not gone well with the system, the body pushes it out. It's only because of the Nagavayu. The Nagavayu is functioning inside in a very proper way that it's able to let it out. Vomiting, when people vomit, they think there is some problem in their life. No. Of course, you vomit because of various reasons. Like, there are certain cultures, especially when you have this rituals, ancient rituals, like in the Amazon forest, you have the shamanic rituals of ayahuasca, or you say it ayahuasca, whatever it is, the end of the day. But people puke. So this is because that Nagavayu has suddenly become very active and it is removing all the toxins from your body. And there's a conscious way to do that as well. So early morning, when people used to brush their teeth, especially in this land, they used to brush it with a twig, neem twig, if you know this. Today it is all about toothbrush and chemicals in it, and you brush it with a brush. Whereas in the ancient times, people used to use a twig, and they used to use their hands or a certain kind of a leaf which was very, very powerful in invoking the presence of the Nagavayu. So always they used to vomit in the morning. And even in the yogic culture, conscious vomiting is very, very much prevalent. This is something which people have been doing. They put water and they gobble it out, they vomit out, and some of the people, they take a thread and they put it into one nostril and take it through the other nostril, and there's a certain kind of a cleansing activity which is happening. So Nagavayu is essentially associated more with the cleansing, and so is your Apana Vayu, because it's again concerned with the excretory organs. So your Nagavayu and your Apana Vayu are directly connected with the cleansing realities of your life. So if you want to cleanse anything which has gone inside by mistake and you want to let it out, this is the Vayus you need to work on. Kurma for opening and closing the eyes and blinking. So if the Kurma Vayu is not there, you cannot move your eyes. The movement of your eyes is only happening because of the Kurma Vayu. Kirikara for sneezing. Now for example, there is a certain kind of an environment where I need to go. When I get into that kind of an environment and I do that kind of a breathing, this Kirikara Vayu tends to work well. And if Kirikara Vayu is overdoing itself, constantly people are sneezing. So in the ancient times, people used to, mention this as kirikara dosha. So if a person sneezes a lot, they used to say, "Are you having a dosha called as kirikara dosha?" So today, the modern science, talks about this as histamicins and antihistamicins. So whenever there is histamicin, you sneeze and you need an antihistamicin to stop the sneezing, right? You need antihistamicins in your body to stop the sneezing. Yes or no? Only when antihistamicins are there, the sneezing stops. Yeah. So this is exactly what you need to know. Absolutely, in all forms. I'm feeling very, very blissful as I'm sharing this information with all of you. It's so surprising to know as to how the modern science is absolutely coming in sync with the ancient science. And sometimes I feel if we would have just lapped up this ancient wisdom, our life would have been much, much fantastic. And you have Devadatta for yawning. Now, if I yawn, if I yawn, it's only because the Devadatta Vayu I'm able to yawn. It is not possible to yawn. So, what is the use of yawning? Yawning little eases your body off. It's just an indication. It just indicates that okay, your body needs rest. Okay, you listen to something and you feel very tired. Pause and then take on the next information. So these are very, very important. And then you have to understand what is Dhananjaya Vayu, which again is pervading in the entire body. It does not leave the body even when you die. So the ancient sages and the rishis who have had substantial masteries, for example, my master, who has a substantial mastery over his own body, mind, emotion, energy, from whom I have been initiated into this great yogic science, I feel my life has been transformed after that, absolutely, because of the grace of Lord Balaji. And I always say, Jai, 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 Balaji. It's a very powerful code. People don't understand this. And because of Lord Balaji, I've been able to connect to the ancient sages. And he was describing about this Dhananjaya Vayu, which is pervading in the entire body and does not leave the body after the death. And if certain people really want to work and they want to create a certain possibility of revitalizing the body, basically I feel this is what happens to certain people when they are subjected to shock. If you look, when people are put into ventilator and they're given a shock basically, and in the heart they are being given a kind of a certain shock so that they come back. Basically I feel there is a possibility where the Dhananjaya Vayu has made contacts with other Vayus and suddenly re-established the whole working system in the body. How it works in a completely more effective way is a deep science which has to be explored individually. It cannot be just explained merely in words. It's very difficult to explain it just in words. You need to just experience it. The course on the meditation which I have created, the link which is available in the description box below, also is a very powerful utility for every one of you who are interested in having access to this powerful science, because all of this happens very naturally when you are in a meditative state. It's very important to know that, and it's very interesting to know how the 10 Vayus roam in the body of a living being through all the nadis, because these Vayus are operating through the nadis, and it is very, very important for people to understand this. Very amazing science, absolutely amazing and incredible. The movement of prana within the body through this three nadis, Ida, Pingala and Sushma, is also very, very interesting. As I was telling to you, that Ida is situated on the left side of the spinal cord. We access it through the left nostril, and Pingala on the right side of the spinal cord, like a crisscross, like a serpent. It's through this understanding, if you look at even today in the medical sciences, you have a serpent science, a serpent. a twingle serpent, because without this there is no life. So there is a corresponding planetary position which people associate with. The ancient sages have always known the impact of the lunar and the solar cycles on the human body. In fact, you are born because your mother's body is in sync with the lunar and the solar cycle, especially more in tune with the lunar cycle. Otherwise you would not be born, I would not be born. It's only because our mother's body have been in sync with this planetary cycles that we are today existing, or she was able to conceive. So the moon is situated in the Ida and the sun in the Pingala, and what we call in the Sushma is a central nadi. So what you see, the sound which comes as I was talking to you in the Swara Yoga, when you are breathing out, you have the sound of hum. When you breathe in, it's sa, so, hum, so. So it is very, very amazing to know that. So there is a certain science which is so deep, so profound, which is so vibrant, which I feel people are missing today. And by listening to this, if you are there here so far, I feel you're in a fantastic space, and you're adding more value to your life by having access to this absolutely amazing and vibrant information. And I feel very, very good that you are in a position to have access to this. If you very much observe the controller of the flow of the left nadi, and the one who is residing in the left nadi is called as Shakti. The one who is residing in the right nadi is Balaji. People call it Shiva, but I call it Lord Balaji. The sun is associated with Lord Balaji. The moon is associated with Shakti. People may want to call it Shiva and Shakti, but I call it Balaji and Shakti, the presence. It's very, very powerful. If people say, in the ancient times, whenever people used to give something, they used to give it when they were, inhaling. That's when they used to give, because they understood that the impact of the giving increases 10 times more. There's always this deep knowing. So whenever I give, I usually inhale and I give. There's a deep science behind it, and I always found it extremely fascinating. And all the people who are, whom I have met, especially you call the top 10 names, who are very, very active, who are very widespread in the social media and the spiritual line, or the ancient sages in the Himalayan mountains who don't even care to know whether they're in a different state altogether. So they know about this. It's absolutely amazing. So I'll share more inputs with you in my other video. For now, have a fantastic time and stay blessed.